Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, here it is, it's Wiccan Wednesday. And what am I doing? I'm slip sliding across my living room. I'm working on putting together my new book of shadows, and it's a big task. Anyways, I thought I'd show you a little bit of the process I'm working on, and we just talk about that today. So come on along. As you can see here, spread out on my floor, I got quite a mess, but it's getting somewhat more organized. Today's been a really busy day because my new Book of Shadows binder arrived. And here's my new binder. I bought, it's hard to show here, but I bought a 6-inch thick binder. If you measure it from end to end here, it's 6 inch, but I got it in black, and I've been organizing pages in it today. So I thought I'd open it up and show it to you. Now, I got a lot of pages here I'm still putting in, and even more, but I'll show you how we do that. Anyways, but as you can see, if you look at side to side, it's thick. Now, pardon my house, I've got boxes everywhere and it's a mess today. But just to show you here, this is the edge of the binder, and if you want to buy a binder, the width, and they talk about 6-inch binder, it's by how wide the spine is. And so you can see that this, I've got a ruler here, this binder is 6 inches wide, so you can get a lot of stuff in it. Now, amazingly, I've already halfway pretty much filled it up. I'm about 3 inches in, so I've got about 3 more inches till it's full, and I'll probably fill that up. But I want to show you this. I have everything magical in here. And just so you know, this Book of Shadows is all purchased from Rare Wicca Spells. And that's Lady Angela's website, rarewiccaspells.com. In fact, here is a paper from hers. And when you place your first order, you get 10% off. Now, for those of you here at Spirit Channel, oh, excuse me, sorry, my camera cut off. But for those of you here at Spirit Channel, you can always get 10% off by being a member of my channel. And when you go to rarewiccaspells.com, type in the coupon code Spirit Channel, all one word, and you can buy stuff over there. Now, Lady Angela sells everything. She sells ritual supplies, as you can see here, crystals, ritual tools, books of shadows. Now, you can also have her custom make you a full book of shadows. But if you don't have the money to buy a custom-made book of shadows, they are a little pricey, I'll be honest. You could start with just a few spells. And for example, you can buy, like a Book of Shadows Blessing to start. This is, I got at her site, the Wheel of the Year chart. Okay. Here's a chart on the pentagram. She sells that. All sort of spell pages. And if you go to her website, you can learn all the different categories of spells, and all of my pages are having some trouble here. She talks about the elemental. Here's a section of my book on elementals. You got earth, air, fire, water, all about the elements, you see. There's water, spirit, elemental cauldron, gives little ideas of how to work with elemental energies and spells. Here's a really cool page. It's on winds correspondences. And it talks about the northern winds, the southern winds, the western winds. I got so much stuff in here. It's amazing. Eastern direction, moon phases. I know when I was first starting out in the craft, I could never keep straight moon phases. So she has a spell on that, and it goes through each of the phases of the moon. And you can remember if it's waxing moon or waning moon. Magical alphabets. You can learn the runes. Here's the rune pages that I have. Here's the witch's rune, the Thieving script. Lady Angela can get that for you. And look at the beautiful detailed graphic work on this. Now, let me tell you, her pages are amazing. Here's the runes. All of her spell pages are printed in really beautiful, fine quality paper. And her artwork is so amazing. She spends a lot of time designing these. So you have a very magical page. And she puts images and graphics and borders and beautiful calligraphic fonts. So if you buy her pages, let me tell you, you really get heirloom pages. These are, I believe they're acid-free, heavy parchment. And so they don't wear out. They're not like regular printer paper. They're very fine quality paper. So I definitely recommend it. Now, what some people do is they get a hole punch and they hole punch the edge of their spell pages and put them in their Book of Shadows. And you can do that, you know, especially if you're getting a 3-ring binder like the one I've got here. But I like to buy these. These are plastic sheet protectors. And if you buy these, they'll protect your spell pages. And, you know, I think because I want to keep my book for a long time, the plastic covers are a great way to go because it prevents the pages from tearing, because see, the page itself never gets punctured. And this is really great because I know I've been at the altar doing a ritual, doing a spell, and I'll flip my chalice over, or I'll flip a candle over and wax goes across my spell page. And I guess that's okay once in a while, you know, if you kind of like that kind of dramatic waxing page look. But for me, it happens far too often, you know. So I like plastic because I'm a klutz. Now, let me tell you, Lady Angela, I always laugh about this. Now, as you can see, I've got my stuff spread out here on my floor. And let me tell you, when you're working with your stuff, make sure you don't do this. I know I've been here. I'll jump up to run to the phone, and guess what I invariably do? I will step on the edge of one of these and slide. It's literally like ice skating. So if you're working with these on the floor with carpet and you got the plastic, they will slide and you will fall on your butt. So don't do that. So I'm telling you, be very careful when you're putting together your Book of Shadows, because anybody who's worked with these plastic sheet protectors will tell you, once you get into a big project and you have them all over the floor, you will jump up and you will forget and you will step across one. And let me tell you, you will go flying right on your butt. You really will. So be careful. Now, I know you guys are going to say, well, say, Bob, what if I'm just starting? What should I have in my Book of Shadows? Well, the truth is you can have whatever you want in your Book of Shadows. But traditionally, you have, ritual information like how to cast a circle. So like Lady Angela did this wonderful spell page, casting a circle, creating sacred space. So you might want that. So you have a ritual you can always follow that's consistent. Here's another part of that, creating sacred space. You might want a statement of faith in your Book of Shadow, the Witch's Creed. This is a classic by Doreen Valiente, and it outlines kind of the beliefs of the Wicca. You might want that. You might want some blessings in your book, like here, how to do a house blessing, because, if you're practicing Wicca and your friends find out, invariably you'll be asked to do a house blessing. So you could have a house blessing in your book, so you always have one on hand. A lot of you like to make, you ask about incenses and herbal magic. Well, I have a whole section here. I've got to catalog these and get them in the book of how to make astrological incenses, okay? And it gives the formulas and all of that, how to make that. So that's like something cool. So, you could kind of think of some of your stuff as like a recipe book, how you make stuff, how you make herbal baths, how you make incenses, things like that, You could also have section in your Book of Shadows where you honor the gods that you work with. Like, for example, here's an invocation to Pan. I love this one. This is so beautiful. Look at the beautiful calligraphic work on it. And I've also put a picture of Pan. You can actually, get pages with pictures of your deities to put in. So you have them. There's Pan. You can see him right there. See his horns? There he is. Yeah, it says Pan and rustic with vines, rustic wood. Like here's another page. So these are ones I still have to get in the book. Invocation to Bridget. Okay, prayers to Bridget. You give your favorite prayers on pages, so you all have them. So your book can be like a spell book and a prayer book all in one. And then of course, spells and magic. Okay, so let's talk about that. Now, these are a few spell pages. I have a whole section for spells, and you should divide your book up into sections, like your prayer section, your you know, recipe section. I mean, you don't have to, but that's the way I do it. And these are my spell pages. Here's one: to see the future or increase psychic energy. And you know, in the coming weeks, we're actually, as I get my book organized, I'm actually going to do some of these spells with you and walk you through how to do them. Today I don't have time because I'm really maxed out on readings, but I just want to introduce you to some of this. So here's a spell. We could do this next week if you want: to see the future, increase psychic energy. Okay, and that's a wonderful, so you can get that at Rare Wicca Spells. All of these pages come from rarewiccaspells.com. Here's one: spell to stop gossip or slander. Spell to stop harassment. Now, you know, as a targeted individual, this is definitely something that we're going to be talking about, because I think all of us, especially when you follow an alternative spiritual path, you do tend to get more gossip or slander than maybe most people. So we've got this to work on too. So there's some spell works. Here's a spell binder: how to seal your spells. I mean, I tell you, you're practically unlimited. Here's a spell to reveal the truth, you know. So many things you can do here, you know, but I would kind of create a section, you know, and you could put divider tabs. That's something I'm going to work on, making some divider tabs, and divide it up between magic, rituals, recipes. Here's another one, for example: bath oil recipes. That needs to go with my astrological incenses section. So, you know, all of your recipes, how to make your own bath salts and oils, all of that, bath oil potions. Look at that mystical looking. So you see, there's so much that you can do. Here's one: black opal charm. You could have a whole section of your book on how to make magical charms. You see, so you're just not limited. Now, just a word of advice: if you're going to use the plastic covers, the page protectors, just look up 8.5 by 11 page protectors. You can buy these on Amazon or eBay. I'm not being endorsed by either, but one of the tricks, you know, think about this. When you're loading your spell pages, do what they call top load it, which means is one end of these pages, if you can see it, will open. Make sure that you align all of them in the same direction, because if you put your pages in it upside down, okay, when you lift up your Book of Shadows, guess what? All your pages will fall out. So make sure that the top is the open section, okay? Now, as you can see, I've got my page in here, and I just push it, and it'll just slide down in. You see? And now that page is protected, and it's got perforations on the edges, so I can just open my book. Hold on, I gotta set this down. See, I can open my book so the binder rings are open, and then those just pop right in on the 3 rings. Now, when you're doing it, especially if you're doing multiple pages, make sure you get all of them in. And then you pop it in, and look, it's in your book. And then you can just close it up. Ow, just caught my arm. Be careful. Usually I do this with 2 hands, but I'm doing it one-handed. And now your page is there. It's not damaged, and it's preserved and protected for future generations. So there you go. That's what I've been working on today. As you know, I've got hundreds of pages. It's taken quite a while to organize. But I'm having the best time, and we're going to do more on the Book of Shadows. But I wanted to introduce it to you because a lot of you have been writing and saying, I'm just starting out in the craft. I write about Book of Shadows. What do I do? Keep it very simple. I think it's best to start with a 3-ring binder. And now you don't have to buy a big 6-inch binder. You could buy a little 2-inch binder to start with. But I tell you, if you get into working magic and collecting spells like I am, you'll build it up. And you know, think about it this way. You know, treat yourself to a little magic every week. So Lady Angela's spell pages are beautiful quality. They're finely made. They're not expensive. And so you could build your collection little by little. You don't have to spend a fortune. Now, if you want to splurge out, she can make you a custom bound Book of Shadows in leather or other materials that are just beautiful. But you know, when I started, I didn't have all that money. And so I just started collecting little pages here and there. And now I've got probably like 600 spells, or maybe more. I have to count it. But I get a lot out of my Book of Shadows. And as I said, in the coming weeks, we're going to go through the Book of Shadows and explore that. Okay, so definitely keep watching. Well, guys, I am so thankful that you're here today, and I want to say thank you for being part of my channel. And listen, if you didn't see yesterday's video We had messages from the spirit world, so definitely check that out. That's where I did little mini psychic readings for everybody. So definitely go over there. Maybe you got a message. And as I always said, everybody that tunes in does get something from spirit. Even if your letter doesn't get read, you'll find something to help you. So definitely check out yesterday's video if you haven't seen it. By the way, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Join our channel. Be part of our scene. And if you get a chance, pop over to rarewiccaspells.com. I'm going to put the link below. And you can start your Book of Shadows. Or if you have a Book of Shadows, you can expand it, buy some spells over there, or have Lady Angela make you a book. Or, maybe you've already got a Book of Shadows. You could buy some incense over at her shop to bless it. And yeah, all sort of good things. Guys, I'm so glad you're here today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this. Listen, again, give me thumbs up, and if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, give me a call. 703-825-3929 is my number. You can get on my schedule or write to me, readings@robert-hickman.com. My email will be below, and visit my website, psychicbob.com. You guys best. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Thursday, Vlog Thursday. I don't know where we're going. We're going to go do something fun, but make sure to be here. In the meantime, I got to be careful I don't break my neck on my plastic sliders. All right, guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for being here. I love you guys. Blessed be.